Introducing Kate Casey.
Welcome back for another episode of Reality Life with Kate Casey, and welcome back for this most special Saturday series episode. You know how there's some people you meet early in life who just leave a lasting impression, not just on you, but how you see the world? Well, today's guest, my friend Amber Rose Johnson, is one of those people for me. I met Amber before either of us had any kids. And from that first encounter, I don't think I ever stopped laughing. Amber grew up in this incredible household. Her dad ran a health club and her mom, Cindy, was this larger-than-life personality. By day, Cindy was an aerobics instructor, and by night, she was a comedian and a booker. She had this spark, this unbelievable combination of humor and professionalism that made such a mark on me. Cindy showed me that you could be completely yourself, funny, bold, creative, but also run your world like a pro. That confidence, that sense of showing up fully prepared, but never taking yourself too seriously, is something I've carried with me all of these years. And it's something I've tried to pass down to my kids too. Amber, meanwhile, took all of that energy and carved her own path. Now, she grew up surrounded by the fitness industry, the kind of place where diet culture was everywhere. But she saw through it early on. Long before body positivity became a movement, Amber was already living it. She's built a beautiful day spa business that's not just about beauty, but about helping people feel good in their own skin. And because it's Amber, of course, there are plenty of hilarious stories along the way, including one where she somehow ended up on stage at the Soul Train Awards without even realizing what was happening. You can't make this stuff up. I cannot wait for you to hear this conversation. It's heartfelt, funny, and full of wisdom from someone who's been embracing joy and confidence long before it was trendy. I'm telling you, you're going to want her to be your friend too. Here is my interview with my hilarious, most wise friend, Amber Rose Johnson. Amber Johnson, Amber Rose. I'm so thrilled to have you.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
So let's tell the good people listening first how we met. We met through Kara Weichman, and
Yes.
Kara and Kara's husband started working out in your dad's gym many, many moons ago. And then when we started to have kids, we ended up at the same preschool.
Correct.
And our sons, my one son and one of your two sons, match up in the same year. So they were in preschool together. And I have been absolutely laughing ever since. First, the thing people need to know about Amber is she's always got a million things going on.
Yes.
She knows everyone.
I do.
The first thing I want you to do is to tell everybody a little bit about your life growing up and your very unique parents.
Yes, very unique. So my parents are in the health club business. My grandfather actually started one of the first health clubs and the first women health club. And my father wanted to build a health club very unique to what was out there. And my mom and dad started their own thing, kind of did it their way. And my mother, who is Jewish and funny and had probably one of the funniest parents in the world, was in love with comedy. And so my mom started to do comedy at night and taught aerobics in the daytime. And she inherited a fabric store from her father, who passed away from cancer, and she hated it. And so she was just beat to her own drum. And my father was super passionate about health and anti-aging. And he still owns his health club. It's called Shape Up in Newport Beach. And very brilliant. My dad's a very brilliant man. And so my mom was a comedian, which made her very, very popular.
Well, also, and they met when they were like 16 years old. Weren't they married like 45 years?
Yeah, and they met, they both worked for Richard Simmons. And my parents were, in the 70s, they were professional aerobics. They did like the aerobics competitions with the little outfits. So my dad owns an archive of those, and I swear they're like blackmail. I want to find those videos. But my parents were, they did all the aerobics videos back in the day, all the workout stuff. So super funny.
And I feel like when you go to the gym over all these years, they were kind of always on like ahead of the curve. Whatever the moment the exercise was, they already had been doing classes for months.
Yeah, it's true. My dad was definitely into still is. I mean, my dad was into this like anti-aging epigenetic peptides 20 years ago before anyone even knew what it was. He's always been, I always ask him, what is he into now? Because he's always ahead of the curve. But now with AI, he said it caught up to him. So my mother found, she used to make a joke, laughter is the best medicine unless you try, I forgot, she'd always bring up some strong, fun painkiller or something. But she's like, unless you try morphine, but laughter is the best medicine. But my mom used humor so she taught aerobics classes every morning and used her humor to make people laugh every day. So it's like, you want to look good in those jeans tomorrow? You better squat good today. You know, she would just have a lot of fun with, and most people weren't doing that kind of tying in humor. And I run into people all the time that took my mom's classes till the day she passed away. I mean, my mom taught aerobics her whole life in 40 something years, and she loved it so much. But it was a comedy class workout. I swear, I think most people got their abs from laughing.
and just their physicality was hysterical too, because your dad is really tall and super built. And then your mom was like a little person. She was so tiny.
She was teeny. I had a little pocket. I make a joke out of Polly Pocket Mom. My mom was, barely 5 foot tall. She likes it with heels on and under 100 pounds. She was just a tiny little thing. Actually, my mother was anorexic and bulimic. I was always plus size, but I would eat with my mother, and I was always this big chubby child with this tiny skinny mom and this really fit dad. And it was the funniest thing in the world. I look back and I'm like, there is so much humor in this. And my mother was just obsessed with being skinny. And the true story, my mother was working with the Bravo. My mom was working with Bravo. And there was a reality show that she was supposed to be part of that never came to life. But in the green room, they had to interview me. And I was so good. I don't know what happened because it wasn't about me. So it was just funny. And I said, it's so funny having a skinny mom and being chubby. I mean, I'm a fat daughter of a skinny mom who's a comedian. There's like so much humor in this. And my parents own a health club in Newport Beach, which is at the time, the skinniest capital in America.
Right.
And there's nothing funnier than being chubby from Newport Beach when your parents own a health club. And they thought it was so good that they pitched me for years. They said, it's like the shoemaker's kids have no shoes. They were trying to pitch like people whose family's business did something completely different. And they knew it would be a success. And we didn't do it. I don't know why or what happened, but we should have done it because it would have been so funny. But my mom being so obsessed with being skinny and my dad so into health, and I would go to my dad's gym, excited to see my parents, but I was just waiting for their lunch break. Like I wasn't there to work out. I'm like, can we go get burritos? Like it was just so funny and real. And I didn't have any desire to look like my mom. I make a joke. I kind of saw the ugly behind skinny. I was really turned off. I saw what these women did in Newport. And I remember thinking to myself, I could never, I thought it was so bizarre, but they were obsessed. And that was, the ugly behind skinny was really hard for me. And I eat healthy. So I'm a bigger girl, but I'm I eat very clean. I never had soda. I've never had meat. Like I eat really, really clean. So I don't care about calories. It's more like the quality of the food.
Yeah.
Where my mom's friends, my favorite joke, this true story, my grandmother and her best friend, Harriet, they were so worried about me being chubby when I was like 14, 15. They said, Boobala, we're going to get you these diet pills. And my dad used to say, he used to talk bad about my grandma and all her friends on diet pills, that how addictive they are. They're highly, highly addictive. And so I remember telling my grandma and Harriet, I said, you guys, those are highly addictive. Like I shouldn't try those. And my grandma goes, no, they're not. I've been taking them for years. It's my favorite joke. It's like, they're not addictive. I've been taking them for years.
You were ahead of the curve when it comes to body positivity. You're always, and it's so funny because you're in this like health club world and you're just like, yeah, but like life is worth more than this. Like this is boring. To the amount of time that you're thinking about how small you are, you could be doing so many other things.
I did, and I came out right when J-Lo and like Juicy, remember those Juicy pants? My butt said Juicy. My mom said her butt's so small it said Jew, and she had pants that were made that just said J-U because her butt was so small. And so I would wear my Juicy pants, and she had J-U pants, and people thought it was so funny. But her butt couldn't fit the whole world. But I came out during the Juicy era and the J-Lo era, and it just really, truly like kind of helped my mindset, And then Baby Got Back, Sir Mix-a-Lot came out, and I was like, oh, I'm the shit. And my mom had already lipoed her ass, and she's like, damn it, how do I get it back? That's a true story too. And so she's like, she grew up in the Twiggy era, so that was her thing. You just want to be as skinny as possible. And when J-Lo came out, my mom goes, well, shit, I lipoed my whole body. There's no going back from this. So yeah, she made sure she was just obsessed with being skinny, and she would make fun of it. I mean, she was funny about it. The whole bulimia thing was kind of a secret.
Well, yeah, I remember you saying that it was a secret. You had an idea, but she would never discuss it.
No, and not only that, after her funeral, my favorite part is so many people came up to me telling me a story about her bulimia, because it's really what caused her colon cancer and all her health stuff. And so everyone had a story to tell me about my mom's bulimia, thinking that, they're going to tell me something I didn't know. And I thought, my mom was already passed. It was so funny. I kind of yelled one day in the car, I go, you're a really bad bulimic. Like, you weren't that secretive. Like, you thought
like
you had a secret. We all
it.
knew, bitch. Yeah. So she wasn't very good at it. The only thing, like, I just never could talk to my father about it, because he goes, your mother says she's not doing it. And no, it was definitely like talked about a lot behind the scenes. And we would worry, like, she was so tiny, but like I said, she felt so good. And even sicker is when she got cancer. She was already so skinny. She really loved, like, during chemo, she looked great in her clothes. She thought she loved. So there is definitely like a mental illness of how skinny, and she dressed so cute, and she just really loved being thin. And I do worry about like, I know, so I see it in people, and because I own day spas, I own I own facial lounge, and one of my favorite things about facial lounges is it's a place for people to feel good and confident. And there's so many layers to, like, eating good for your skin and your health and your mental health and taking good care of yourself. So it's interesting how sometimes I'll organically catch it with clients and have healthy conversations. And I think that, like, and they trip off how confident I am in my skin. So there's this interesting, especially in Newport. I mean, it's not very common for girls to be plus size in Orange County and feel good in their skin. So it is an interesting, and it's hard because I like to talk about being bigger, but not because I'm mad at it. I'm just mad that the stores don't make my size. But it's not like I'm ever, so it's a hard place to kind of make fun of it when it's not like a real problem for me, but it is, but it's funny. Newport Beach in Orange County, Southern Orange County has no plus size stores, none. So my job is to try on everything until they get the memo. So I have to stretch out all the clothes at Fashion Island until they make I'm like, you know what? You guys should figure this out. So I have fun with, I always make a joke when I'm trying on clothes at the stores. I get checked on a little more than everyone else. And I act like they like me, but I think they're just worried about their merchandise. They're like, Amber, you okay in there? You need anything? I'm like, do you have some, needle and thread? I need a sewing machine. And
but remember, you told me that despite what people think, like, you get a ton of looks. So all of the women here are like, want to be so small.
It's my favorite. It's my favorite. It's hilarious. I want to tell the girls how to eat the burger. Eat the burger. He doesn't care. I promise you. And I think that it's the confidence you have in your self-talk and how you feel, and when you get dressed, how you feel in your skin. Trust me, I have days where I look the same as yesterday, but if I don't feel good, and yesterday, by the way, this is a real thing, my jeans were a little tighter. Yes, I like my clothes to fit a certain way. It doesn't mean I'm a weird about a size, but I do go up and down, 5 to sometimes 10 pounds. And I don't like, so it's a bigger version of me, but I have like this sweet spot that I like, but it's not, it's not the sweet spot that the world wants me. It's my own little thing. So we're allowed to have that space, right? So yesterday I didn't love how my jeans were tight when I put them on. I didn't really love how, and so those are like, so it's not like, I tell people, it's not like letting yourself go. We know what we feel good in. And I probably looked the same as the day before, but I walked around maybe not as cute to me, And so there is a place that we can go mentally to feel good. And there's a lot of self-talk that matters. My mom's self-talk was through the roof. I remember my friend told me, I didn't know this about my mom, but she told me, one of my really good friends, my mom got her hair done. My mom saw her for her hair for like 20 years. And so, when you get your hair done, you get to hear a lot of things that different versions of someone. And she goes, your mom always told me that she likes to play love songs, but she sings them to herself.
Oh.
And this is before the internet. This is in the 90s and early 2000s. And I remember when my friend told me that. But now that I'm older, I'm like, I kind of get it. I remember that annoyed me, thinking my mother should be singing those songs to my father,
Mm-hmm.
But my mother really that little thing, loved herself so much, but she sang herself love songs all day. And I was like, no wonder she could just walk in a room and light it up and do all the things she did. Her confidence was through the roof.
But it is interesting, the dichotomy of struggling deeply in an eating disorder, but also presenting as supremely confident. Like, one thing that I've always taken with me that she talked about was when I started doing stand-up comedy, and you would graciously invite me to all these stand-up things. And there was this mindset that she had, which is you should hype up the person that is perceived as your competition. Mm-hmm. So in other words, when you're a comedian and you're walking out of a room and there's an agent walking in, your attitude should be, she's going to have a great show. She's dynamite. Because it only lifts yourself up, and then it lifts other people up in the process.
She was really good at it. It was an art that I thankfully accidentally got from her, not understanding it, but my mom made sure everyone won in a room. My mom really did love. I mean, trust me, Sydney was also out for Cindy. She wasn't but she also made sure if you did something good, she told you she liked everyone to shine. She really did like everyone to shine. And she produced comedy shows. And when she produced them, she wanted every single person to kill it. She just was truly there. And that was interesting. She just, when every person killed it, she was just, and every person, my mom produced the Orange County Funniest Housewives. They are all super famous now. And my mom knew it. She knew it. I mean, if you heard what she would say behind the doors of these comedians that the comedians never got to hear, my mother was their biggest fan. I mean, she just really, Vicky Barbalack, my mom, I was jealous of Vicky for a while.
Barbalack. I remember I was with her at one of those events. Hysterical.
Yeah, she's one of my favorites. And I was secretly, I'll never forget, true story. My mom picked me up and she had a Torrid bag in the back seat. And I'm trying to think if I had kids. My kids might have been just born. And Torrid is a plus size store. And I thought, oh my gosh, my mother bought me something. I was just so oh my God, she's not like that. And I go, what's in the Torrid bag? And mom goes, oh, don't worry about that. And I was kind of jealous. I go, what is it, Mom? She goes, I bought Vicky this really cute leopard jacket. And it was in the window. She was walking through the mall and they had a leopard jacket. And I went, Vicky, you bought Vicky a jacket? I remember being so jealous of Vicky. and we were friends, but I really got to know Vicky, especially when my mom got sick. And I was like, God, I get it. You can buy her as many jackets as you want. I totally get it. And to this day, Vicky she'll still wear a lot of the clothes my mom bought her, but Vicky loved to wear leopard stuff. And once my mom passed, Vicky got on the show, America's Got Talent.
I remember that. Yeah.
And Vicky only got 4 tickets. And she said, one of them would be for your mom. So I want you here. And so I got to go to every single show and every single thing. And it was so magical and eerie. My mom, she must know this is happening. And she was a finalist, and it was game changer. And I have so many stories like that every single one of these comedians they have HBO specials, and they have
Taylor Tomlinson. We did stand up together one night, and she totally blew up. She had an HBO. She something I noted about her is that she really kept to herself and was very much in the work in her head. And that's an inspiring story to see her success too. But you know what's so funny? I was at a pool in Hawaii with my kids, and I realized that the guy in the pool with me was your friend. And I swam over to him and we chatted for a while, took pictures together. That man is Aloe Black. Aloe Black. Yeah. And then he blew up. He made a song with Avicii and is this big star.
Wake me up.
You guys just have a way of having these sparkly personalities.
He actually sang at my mom's funeral. My mom's funeral was a full concert and comedy show. It was a whole shebang. Yeah, he sang there with a bunch of people. It was a whole thing. He's so funny.
Okay, another thing, your salons. In the early days of my podcast, I got so many Bachelor interviews because they were going in to get facials from you.
Yes, yeah. You were the one to tell me who they were because I didn't understand Instagram yet. So they would post and they would, like, the lives weren't even a thing yet. So people would post that they're there, or I don't think there were stories yet. They would just post that they're at Facial Lounge, or it was Facial Lounge at the time because I just switched the name. But you would tell me all the reality star people I had. I didn't know who they were. And then you go get me on the show. I go, hey, my friend has a podcast. And they would just go, okay. Like, it was so organic and easy. It was like,
one of them I did at your salon, actually. I interviewed one of the big stars actually in one of the rooms where you do facials.
Did you?
Yeah.
That sounds so me. I can't. Who was it?
Amanda Stanton.
Oh, I love her.
I know.
She's still a
She's so
client.
great.
She's so great. She's so great. Yeah. I got to find that. That's fun.
But you always would just listen to all my stupid stories, but also you did love all the celebrity stuff, which I appreciated.
Well, you are also got like a stamp of, I can't believe, like, you would come in and tell me things sometimes, and I go, okay, Kate, like, sometimes this sounds crazy. And you would come in for a facial and you just knew stuff and this is in our defense too, like, internet wasn't the internet what it is now, right? Like, it didn't have like the things. And I remember you were telling me about Katie Holmes. And when I tell you, you had every detail of everything that Katie Holmes was going through, I was like, you sound crazy. And she's like, no, she's going to leave tomorrow. And and you knew, I mean, the
bat phone. The bat phone.
She had a bat phone, and she's going to leave in this. And you're telling me this whole plan. And and you were so matter of fact that I went, okay, cool. And 2 days later on TMZ, Katie Holmes, I was like, what the I mean, I knew real inside. That was the most inside scoop I've ever had. And I went, this girl really knows some shit. Like, you really, and after that, if you told me something, I was like, and you were always right. Like, it was unbelievably, like, my mind was blown. And again, this is before like TMZ and before, I mean, TMZ was around then, I think.
Yeah,
actually.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, TMZ. But this is like, there was no like TMZ internet. Like, it's not like, it's not like you could Google these things and find this out. You had to really know. And I guess the only way you did know was TMZ was brand new at the time. I don't remember what year this was.
Well, I knew because I had a friend that was researching a project. And so that's how I got all my scoop. But then to my earlier point, I got the Bachelor people because they were getting your facials. It's like, you always have to look for all these pockets, but you kind of have a job like that too. Like, everybody comes to you and tells you everything. And being out with you in public is like, you get stopped nonstop.
Oh, it's so fun. Yeah, no, not everywhere, but in Orange County, especially Southern Orange County, it is fun. And I run into, and I have 2 kids who are teenagers, okay? And teenagers are fucking another beast. And I have to be like, listen, people know you. I post you sometimes, like, be on your best behavior. There is no cussing at Fashion Island.
Your kids definitely have swag. And I think that they must have gotten that from your mom too.
Oh, they have and my grandma, they have so much swag. And swag could be a little intimidating, you know? And I just feel like I don't also want like security following my kids around, which happens sometimes. And I just told them, they look cool and kind of tough, and they're basketball players, and they kind of got it. But I know this, and I don't want to change them. So there's this place where I'm like, I don't want to change you. I want you to be authentically you. And I want, but I also know I don't want you out here being cool and cussing. And it's just this weird place where I'm like, you know, teenagers are just such a different breed. And and I'm at the age where I have to let them mess up a little bit. I don't have the control like I do. And I'm so uncomfortable with this. But I have to realize, like, everyone warned me. I'm like, this is part of the process. Let them. So Hendrix, my younger one, still is a little bit, he'll listen to mom. But my Jace is kind of like, I'm not cool anymore. His friends are cool. And he has a good group of friends. So I'm like, thank goodness that my kids have really nice friends that, and I can see if they don't, how hard that would be for a parent. So, and a lot of moms warned me, and I've been warned for years. So I was prepared, but boy, it hit hard.
So what do you think what are some of the best lessons you learned from both of your parents?
Well, that's a great question. For my mother, her thing was how to light up a room. She goes, if you can walk in a room and make sure, her joke was, you could either be the person to walk in a room and light it up, or you're the person when you leave the room, it lights up. And I always loved that. And I remember being in a bad mood, especially when I was like early 20s, and mom goes, I don't think you should go. We would go somewhere. I don't want you in the restaurant with this attitude. You could just stay in the car. There's no reason for you to be here unless you want to walk in and be a ray of sunshine. I don't want to be around you. And I thought she was so mean. And now as I get older and when my kids are like this, I'll tell them, don't come. Don't come. If you're going to be in this space, I don't need you. And I get it. Like my mom was really worried about energy way before we understood what energy was. But my mom, so that was one of the things I got the most out of my mother. And my father, I got his scientific brain. My father really just really understands like science and science of self-talk. He's really into like quantum physics. And my son Hendrix has this brain, and he just really understands like on a cellular level of what we eat, what we put in our body, and what we say to ourselves. So my dad's very unique. It's hard because my dad remarried and it was a really uncomfortable situation. So as much as I love my dad, we're not very close anymore, but my dad's probably one of like the coolest humans in the world. He's just a good human. He really is. So I am very lucky. Even though I make a joke when my mom died, I felt like my mom and dad died because their marriage was like a unity that was only new, right? And then my mom's relationship with my father, a lot of people can probably relate. Like there's this interesting thing where they support the children in the family. So it's like when that dies, my dad's a different person. You know, he's not the same father.
No, he's not the same version anymore of who he was.
No. And so that's hard. And even if me and my dad got in a fight, my mom would be the one to go, Robert, you know, your daughter loves you. And whatever things were happening, and make sure like that glue was always there for the family. And so not having that was a real like awakening where I was like, whoa. So there's probably people listening who could relate when you don't have your family and your stability. And then right after that, I got a divorce. So I was like, I have a wedding picture, and I'm like, every person in this picture is either gone or no longer in my life, or, you know, in heaven or no longer in my life. The whole picture. I mean, and I've lost a lot of family in those few years. And I was so close to my mother's side. I mean, just so close. So there's this like humbling place you don't want to go, but I realized there's two places you can go. You can get really depressed and woe's me, or you can go, I want to be present for every person that I have in my life. So like, I'm a different mom. I'm a different friend. I'm a different in the best way. I want to be like, I want to show up the best I can. And that's real. I wake up like, you don't know when your last day is. So all my relationships and my friendships mean so much to me.
One of the funniest things that you do is even if something's negative, it's like an absolute headache. You always say, oh my God, that's my favorite.
Yeah.
And I've loved that and adopted that in so much of my life. Like just taking things that are just an absolute disaster and flipping it around. So like I'll be talking to you about something and it's like a big mishap or frustration. And you'll just go, yeah, it's my favorite. It's my absolute favorite.
No, it's such a funny, it's such a good humor. Joan Rivers had that humor. My mom knew Joan, and I got so many funny stories from Joan that were just so, the worse they get, the funnier you can make it. And the other day I got a ticket. I got pulled over and I got a little ticky on the 405. And I posted it my stories and everyone thought I was kidding. I was like, oh no, really got a ticket. Little ticket on a Monday, like nothing to start your week off. So I went, I mean, what else am I supposed to do? You know? And by the way, I have to go to traffic school. I passed over a solid white line. That was my ticket. Oh. I mean, when you want to get a stupid ticket, I think I won for the dumbest ticket ever. And now what do? Do I want to go? I have to go to traffic school for crossing over a solid line.
I know, but knowing you're going to go to traffic school, you're going to get like 5 more clients, and then you'll like meet somebody who ends up becoming an international star.
Always. No, not kidding. It's literally like, it will turn into a whole, or I'm going to pay my son to do it online. I'm just kidding.
But not.
I did not. No. He needs to learn. But I do love well, I'll tell you really quick, one of my favorite Joan Rivers stories, and this is where this really shifted my mindset, and it's not funny, but her husband, Joan Rivers' husband, committed suicide.
Yeah.
And at the same, like a few weeks later, it was the biggest restaurant in New York was opening, and she was on the guest list for her and her husband. And obviously she wasn't going to go. And she thought, she told her daughter, Melissa, let's go to this. I have a table. It's like the hotspot thing. Let's get dressed up. And they got their best furs and they got all dressed up and they showed up and no one expected them to be there. And they sat down, everyone's staring at them, and they handed them the menu. And Joan and Melissa looked at the menu, and then Joan put the kind of menu over her head, and she leaned over to Melissa and said, if your father saw these prices, he'd kill himself all over again. And they just started laughing.
Yeah.
And I went, my mom, when she told me the story, I went, that's our family's humor. And it was like
mine
that
too.
Story,
our family too.
Yes. It's just when you can take my mother, true story, they gave her stage 4 cancer. And she goes, well, at least it's not stage 5. And the guy goes, there's the doctor's like, so like monotone, like, he's like, there's no, she's like, I know. He was about to say there's no such thing. She's like, I know, let's just go with that. And then every time she's in the hospital, they'd ask, can I see her finger? Because they need to prick some blood. And every time she gave him the bird, she'd flick them off. So she just the whole time, and my Karen Rontowski, one of my other favorite comedians. Oh my God, you got to get her on your show. She's so freaking funny. Karen Rontowski, brought my mother, true story, at the hospital. She has the funniest video on her crystals on YouTube. It's so funny. And she brought my mom some yellow citrine. And she goes, Cindy, last time I saw you, your yellow chakras were really off. And mom goes, oh my God, that's what's wrong with me. Let's go home. It's like my yellow chakras. So she always had, and she kept that stupid yellow crystal. Every time the doctor came, she goes, it's not cancer, it's my yellow chakras. She had so much fun. She had so much fun with that crystal.
Close us out by telling a couple of the stories of like the little messages that your mom has sent since she died, because I feel like they were coming all the time.
Oh my gosh, all the time. It was almost to the point where I couldn't believe it. So going back to Aloe Black, so Aloe Black wrote the song "Wake Me Up," "Wake Me Up." Okay, and my mom had to pick a cancer song, and she picked "Everything's Gonna Be All Right" by Bob Marley.
Mm-hmm.
And she picked that was her first song. And then it was "Wake Me Up." And "Wake Me Up" had come out the week my mom found out she had cancer. And actually, this is the funniest story I have to tell you. True story, cannot write this. I'm in LA, and Aloe Black is picked for the Soul Train Awards to sing "Wake Me Up." And my cousin Jasmine Mason, my Aunt Julie, who's also Julie Kidd, who's also a comedian, Jasmine is her daughter, got picked. They got introduced through me. They needed dancers for Soul Train. So my cousin Jasmine Mason, who's a famous dancer, goes to the show. So Jasmine mentions, I'm going to be here filming the Soul Train Awards. And Aloe says, I'm going to be here filming the Soul Train Awards. Both of them said, pull up. So I pulled up. And so I'm in a blue dress, and I'm just put my bag down. I'm kind of watching. I'm watching my cousin dance and one of my really good friends sing. And it was like a pivotal moment. And it was September 30th. 2014. And it was a Sunday, or it was September 29th or September 30th. It was a Sunday, and it was in Los Angeles. And I go, what? It was so magical. And then, swear to God, a producer pushes me and goes, we need you up there. And I go, oh, I'm not a dancer. And he grabs me and goes, no, you just got to move this chair and then get in the, and I go, no. And they go, action. And a fucking camera, like Lucille Ball, a camera's right behind me and starts following me as I bend over and push a chair in. I get on to the stage. Okay. I was not there as a dancer. All the dancers are mad at me. I'm in a ridiculously like blue dress and these wedges. And all of a sudden, Aloe's singing, and from his eye, he makes eye contact, and he's like, what the fuck is Amber doing up here? I could just see his face. And then my cousin twirls by and makes eye contact with me. And my cousin's like, what is Amber doing? And I'm sitting there doing a 2-step going, what the fuck am I doing up here? And it was so fast, I didn't mean to. And so when the shoot was over, we were laughing, and I go, I don't know. The guy threw me up. He thought I was a dancer. I can't dance. I have 2 left feet. So afterwards, everyone goes, okay, let's go to, we're all going to, right now, they just found out, John Mayer said that they're all going to the comedy store. Is kind of secret. It was like 4 or 5 o'clock. It wasn't even that late. Dave Chappelle's going to work on a little set, a little intimate set. Okay. This is the most coolest story I've ever had. This is my coolest story ever. Okay. So now I drive, and I'm with Aloe Black and my cousin. I'm sitting with my cousin Jasmine, and I'm with a bunch of famous dancers and all these people. And John Mayer sitting next to me. He did look at me, you guys. John Mayer totally checked me out. Not kidding.
So he ate the cheeseburger because John Mayer
fucking wanted me. It was pretty. I'm going to say he looked twice, and I'm going to say it was pretty intense. So I was really excited about that. So And Dave Chappelle goes up and does he just is doing storytelling. And there's maybe 25 people in the audience, okay? Wow. And it's all us. And it's just real intimate and fun. And there was no one, the Comedy Store wasn't even busy yet. And I went, what? And I kept calling my mom. I'm fucking here with Dave Chappelle. I mean, I'm calling my mom over and over and over, and she won't pick up the phone. And my cousin Jasmine's acting really weird. And I look at my cousin Jasmine, and I could hear my aunt, Julie, on the phone with my cousin, and she's crying. And so I went, what's going on? She goes, just call your mom. My cousin Jasmine wouldn't tell me. Just call your mom. And I go, no, just tell me. She goes, just call your mom. And I remember going in the car and I kept calling my mom, calling my aunt. No one wanted to talk to me. And I did. That was the day my mom found out she had cancer. That day when I'm on stage with Aloe Black, which was just crazy. Okay, this is the craziest story ever. Now, there's so many layers to this. A couple of days later, my mom goes, my cancer song is Wake Me Up. And I go, oh my God, that's Aloe's song. That's Nathaniel's song. And she goes, no, that's cute that, your friend has a song. This one's by Avicii. And I go, no, Mom.
That's his song, yeah.
Produced it, Aloe. She goes, no, it's not the same song, Mom. And my mom didn't know how to look it up. I go, no, I sang it for her. And she goes, yeah, but I'm glad he has that song. Mine is by Avicii. She wouldn't let me know. And so I go, Mom, it's Aloe. And so a few weeks later, Aloe is on the Ellen Show. And Mom calls me and goes, oh my God, it's Aloe. Aloe's the song, my cancer song. I go, I told you. So I call Aloe. I go, listen, she has her first chemo tomorrow. Will you call her and sing to her? Because you're her cancer song. He goes, of course. So we're sitting at the cancer, at Hoag, at Dr. Carroll's infusion center, and we're sitting down, and they're about to put the needle in, right? And I text him, call her now. So, they put the needle in, she's sitting there, they're just about to start chemo, and Aloe calls, and she goes, oh, what bad timing, and she ignores it. And he calls back again, and I'm trying to tell her to answer. I go, Mom, answer. She goes, no, this is bad timing, and she hits ignore. And he ends up leaving a voicemail, which is better. And he goes, hey, Cindy, it's Aloe. I know today's a hard day, and I just want you to know you got this. And he sings the song, the whole song.
And a cappella.
Oh, my God. And so my mom plays so now she's sitting there, and she goes, they left a voicemail. I go, listen to the voicemail, Mom. And she plays it in front of everybody. The nurses are there and everything. And it was just such a coolest moment I've ever experienced, because it was the worst day of her life that just was so special. And he was so part of that journey. And then, of course, he sang at her funeral. He sang the song at her funeral. So there's a lot to the layers to this story. But I never talk about this. And it was such a sad high, and low, and just all over the place. But I'll never forget the day my mom didn't tell me to the next day. She didn't tell me she had cancer to the next day. But she found out September 30th, 2014 was the day my mom found out she had cancer, and one of my favorite days I've ever had. So how horrible is that to say? But it was a amazing day and a shitty next day.
Yeah, but that was her attitude. Even when things are tough, you got to look at the fun in it. She would have never wanted it to be any different. Of course, she would want that to be a fantastic day in your memory too.
Yeah, I think it was a really weird, bittersweet. And then my other favorite, they gave her a book. And when you get cancer, they take pictures of the cancer, especially colon cancer. And they took pictures of her cancer. And she's turning the pages, and my mom was really into energy work, so she liked to talk to her. And so she saw all this white stuff, and she starts yelling at it, bad, go away, bad. I don't want you in my body. And she's turning the pages, bad. And we're both doing it. We're kind of being funny with it, And then she turns another page, and it's black. And that was actually the cancer. And she goes, oh, shit. So she turns back, good, we love you. We love your happy stuff. Good, we want you. And then we had to start over. And we were laughing so hard. And I'm like, who has fun? And then the pages, the black was going. It's just a colon. It was so long. Yeah. Every page, it was we were getting tired. We're like, bad. I'm like, oh my God, how long is this? It's fucking forever. Shit. She's like, shit. We had so much fun with talking shit to her cancer. And truly, she didn't have very much time to live. And she lived a really pretty amazing 2 years, longer than she was supposed to. And it was a neat journey, because I think that when you have something, your death date right in front of you, you live so much more in the moment. And I remember telling her, your fans don't care about you. I do. When I got in fights with her, I go, she would stand me up for meet and greets and things. And I go, my kids wanted to see you. No, those people won't care about you in a year from now, And I used to get so mad. And I remember she goes, you're right. Like all those moments that we could have had together. There's a lot of days. One of them was actually on April Fool's Day, and the year before. And she stood me up for something. And you don't stand someone up on April Fools. I had all these jokes for you, Mom. But yeah. So I
Well,
learned a lot from her.
what do you think for the people that are listening? What's the greatest Cindy lesson that can carry them through this week?
Light up a room. When you're in a really bad mood, even when, like, listen, when she was having a death sentence right in front of her, when things were bad, when things, she would still go, people deserve my good energy. They no one, there's no woes me. My mom didn't tell anyone she had cancer. She actually didn't want to talk about it. So when things are in your worst case scenario, show up a little different and don't give the energy to whatever bad is going on, because you're just going to feed it. Just don't feed it. Find gratitude in everything you can find. Even if she'd have 7 hairs left. I remember before her wig, she'd go, I love these 7 little hairs left.
Yeah.
She just, and I love this beautiful wig I was able to afford to buy. And I would like, she found the gratitude in the smallest things. And that, I think that's everything.
I think the best Cindy lesson I got, again, is to hype up people that are perceived as your competition. It makes it's like setting the tone. It makes a huge difference. And it says more about you when you can say lovely things and supportive things about someone who works or is in the same space that you are in life.
It's so true. There is no competition. Yeah. There's different ways. There's lots of day spas, and I think they're all great. And there's enough faces for all of us. I never have to worry. I never worry if a client, we have memberships, if they leave, I always go, they're going to come back because we care. And if they don't, it's okay. If we weren't a good fit, it's okay. So yes, having that space to know, like, there's no good and bad. And just because someone else does what you do doesn't mean they're bad. And you're right, because I forgot. I didn't realize I have more of my mom in me. I don't see a lot of competition. And it's so important.
You always do that. Like, you're always like, oh, so what if somebody does the same thing? You're a totally different person.
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah. The last thing that's so funny, you have to talk about, I want you to talk about your business, but I think you need to talk about your Instagram handle, because it always lends into other funny stories. So first, tell everybody about your business, because the good people that are listening are going to go, I want her products. So you have 2 salons, but
yes,
in Southern California, but you also have products that they could buy.
Yeah, so I've been in skincare for over 30 years, and I curate skincare. It's all epigenetically studied. So we are aging differently. Our skin's getting damaged differently. So my real passion is skincare and curating amazing skincare, from everything from acne to dry skin, anti-aging. We're one of the first anti-aging, anti-acne products. Like most skincare products, I worked for Dr. Fulton, who made Retin-A and benzoyl peroxide and mandelic acid. He was brilliant. I was really upset because a lot of his anti-acne products cause aging. And most aging products cause acne. So we're one of the first to be developed to not only help acne, but not damage the skin and age it. So I'm very passionate about that. So Facial Lounge is my company, and that's the name of my skincare company, is Facial Lounge. And then my personal, and my Instagram for that is Facial Lounge. And then my personal one, which is so fun. My real name is Amber Rose. That is my name. You were able to Google me in 2000, and I think 10, because Amber Rose wasn't famous yet. And I'll never forget the day I Googled myself and Amber Rose came up. I'm like, who is this sexy bitch? Like, she is stealing. I used to be on page 1. Now I'm on page like 48. Now I'm on page 5 million. But Amber Rose came out as a famous stripper. And that is actually my name. My grandmother, my name was supposed to be Brandy Rose. And my grandmother knew a whore named Brandy and said, you're not going to name her after a whore. You're going to name her a nice name like Amber Rose. There's no whores named Amber Rose. And my grandma died, and Amber Rose became famous. My great-grandma died, who's Grandma Rosie, right before Amber Rose became famous. And I said, oh my God, Grandma, you can't name me any better. But and that's my real, and then a lot of comedians, obviously, I'm friends with a lot of people. Tiffany Haddish called me the other day. I was actually on Tiffany Haddish's Instagram. I have this on video because I thought she actually got facials from me. I thought she was calling me for facials. I didn't know I was on her Instagram. She was calling in, asking people to show up to Pasadena. And I think she thought she called Amber Rose, and she called me. And I was so excited. And once I hung up, I realized she called the wrong Amber Rose. That sucks. But it happens sometimes. I get invited to a lot of things from my name. And I think when I show up, they're like, fuck, the wrong one. So, fuck. And I have like champagne waiting. And they're like, Or people think I'm with her. They're like, that must be Amber Rose's friend. So when I meet Amber Rose, I need to go, thank you, bitch. I've flown first class twice. I got to fly with Bobby Brown. It's a true story. So I got to sit with Bobby Brown. I got to sit with, so they always think so I do love my name. I love being named after a famous stripper. My Instagram, my personal one's the other Amber Rose, which is so funny. I should have put the real Amber Rose, but I am the real one. I'm older than her, and that's not her real name. So I do love that.
There you go.
And the owner of the Now Massage, her name's Jamie Foxx.
No way.
We have to do things together. So it's Jamie Foxx and Amber Rose. And I actually know Jamie Foxx too. True story. I accidentally text Jamie Foxx, if he's so nice, I love him, a few times wanting to text the Now Jamie Foxx. So that's always awkward. So when people have celebrity names, you actually know them. Yeah, I'm like, oh my God. So yeah, Jamie's now booking a massage. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah. So it's fun. If I want a guest list with Jamie Foxx and Amber, if you ever hear they're dating, it was us going to a skin convention.
Well, again, tell people what website they can go to buy your products.
Oh, yeah. Faciallounge.com. That's FACIALLOUNGE. Faciallounge.com. 2 L's. People always ask that.
Well, again, people can follow you on the other Amber Rose on Instagram. I'm so happy that you were my guest today. And I really think this is going to put a huge spring in a bunch of people's step today.
Thank you. And thank you for what you do. Honestly, I've watched your growth and I've watched what you do, and you impress me and inspire the shit out of me. And watching you blow up and grow your business and the podcast and your social media has been super inspiring. So I just want to tell you, I'm a fan. I am honored to be on here, and I'm a big fan.
Thank you, my friend.
The amazing Kate Casey.
I want to thank my great guest, Amber, and remind you to make sure that you click subscribe. Please pass on this podcast to the people in your life who you think need to hear it. Also, make sure you check out my What to Watch list at katecasey.substack.com. You can get bonus episodes on Apple Podcast and on Patreon. My What to Watch list, again, is katecasey.substack.com. And then make sure that you join the Facebook group, Reality Life with Kate Casey. I know I say it all the time, but again, I'm just going to say it again because it's absolutely the place you need to go today to share these great stories about body positivity and just putting good thoughts into the world. And lastly, make sure you follow me on social media. I'm on Instagram at @KCCA, TikTok, it's KCasey, and Twitter Threads and Blue Sky at @KCasey.